We're talking about creating, like I said, over competition. Let's dive right in. The problem, most athletes only compete, all right? So when you only compete, your confidence depends on results in a lot of cases, right? Your consistency, you can constantly compare yourself to others. You react instead of lead. You can play small because you're potentially afraid of failure, right? You only rise to the level of your opponents when you go with competition alone. Now, this could be a dangerous mindset. It can create burnout, anxiety, frustration, and inconsistency. AK Jumper, thanks for stopping by. Miguel, thanks for stopping by. All right, so dangerous can be a dangerous mindset. So the shift, this is the shift. All right, creators perform completely different. Now, when you become a creator, you don't just show up to beat someone, right? You show up to build something, to build your identity, to build your game, right? Your habits, your preparation, your outcomes, your impact, right? That's the difference there. Creators don't wait to see what the opponent does. They set the standard. Creators operate from intent, not reaction. Hello, AK. Yes, sir. Thanks for stopping by. Drazen, thanks for stopping by. Miguel, thanks for stopping by. Shout out to all you guys. All right. See why? Now we're going to talk about why creating is more powerful than competition. All right. Now, here are some top reasons that I have that are backed by science. Check this out. All right. So, creators activate the prefrontal cortex, or decision-making and confidence center of the brain. All right, creators do this. Neuroscience shows that when athletes focus on creating, setting intentions, visualizing, planning, and executing, they activate their prefrontal cortex. This part of the brain controls their confidence, their focus, their decision-making, and their emotional control. All right. So when we compete, got my phone ringing over here. Let me send a message over here real quick. All right. So sorry about that. So, like I said, this part of the brain controls our confidence, decision making, all those things. Now, listen to this. When we compete only, we just compete, we activate the amygdala aspect of the brain, right? What's that activate? Stress, panic, overthinking, negative self talk. We see this all the time in our athletes, all right? We see it all the time when we're coming from the competitive only mindset, all right? Now, when you're a creator, you're gonna stay calm. You're gonna stay calm. You're you're not going to react as much because you're more prepared as a creator, right? Now, creators become leaders as competitors can become followers. Most welcome, sir. India. Yes, I am Indian. Okay, awesome, awesome. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. Now, creators become leaders, competitors become followers. Competing equals reacting to others. All right. Creating equals dictating the environment. All right. Creators shape the game. Creators shape their momentum. Creators shape their energy. Creators shape their response to pressure. All right. Now, coaches want leaders, and these leaders are often creators. They might not know they're creators, right? But when you put together systems that raise your standards and other things we're going to learn about during this 15 minutes, yes, you are a creator over a competitor. All right. So creators control their identity. What's that? It's got a bunch of messages coming in. Creators control their identity. This eliminates comparison, anxiety, feeling inferior. I'm not good enough, thoughts, those type of negative thoughts, overthinking, leading to the errors on the field. Now, what the creators do, what creativity does, it builds stability, it builds confidence, it builds purpose and mental toughness. All right. So as a creator, you control your identity, right? You eliminate those things, those negative things I named before, prior, the anxiety and fear coming from the competitive mindset. When you build the stability, the confidence, the purpose, and the mental toughness coming through the creative mindset. FT Google, what's going on? What's going on? Thanks for stopping by. Now, creators experience less pressure because they're simply Corey. What's going on, Corey? Farron, thanks for stopping by. Creators experience just less pressure. All right, there's less pressure on the creators, right? Because of the systems in place, because of the preparation. All right, building themselves up. All right. and then executing on the field. Creative experience like special. Sports psychology studies show that athletes who focus on internal standards instead of external comparisons reduce performance anxiety by up to 31%. That's from the Journal of Applied Sports Psychology. So again, athletes who focus on internal standards, the goals that they set, the standards that they set in place, right? There's just less stress because they know who they are as an athlete. That's what I always tell my athletes here. You must know who you are as an athlete to perform at your highest level, all right? In a stress-free, confident environment, all right? All right. So pressure can come from the outside and expectations, right? Creators use internal goals. Creators use internal goals, which lower stress, increases the flow state. All right. External reaction, internal, organic, building yourself up. Again, building the systems in place where you're constantly analyzing who you are as that athlete. All right. You're constantly building up, putting in systems where when you come across adversity, you have a response to adversity, a built-in innate response. You're not a victim of, a guy just being maybe a dominant. Baseball's my background. You're having trouble with a guy who's pumping up 98 miles an hour. All right. You're not beating yourself up from a competitive perspective. You understand you need to make certain adjustments because you know who you are as an athlete. Maybe I need to stay back longer, right? Maybe I need to start earlier, whatever the case may be. You understand you're focused on the solution, all right? Not the problem. You're focused on the solution as a creative athlete, all right? So let's see what else we have. All right, creative athletes improve faster, all right? So a competitor trains to beat the next guy, right? A creator trains to build the next version of themselves. You see how everything's always internal from the creator perspective? We're always working on ourselves. We're always building ourselves up. We're always creating the ultimate athlete, the supreme athlete that we strive to be, right? So creators improve faster because their goals are in their control, all right? The goals are in their control. They measure their own growth. Their confidence compounds and their standards stay consistent. We have some more people rolling in. What's going on, Derry? Thanks for stopping by. Benedict, what's that? Emergence, right? CR7, Curtis, Danny's. What's that? Time, is that right? Thanks for stopping by. And Coach Classic, that's a cool one. That's a cool one. I like that. We're talking about competition versus creativity, all right? We're talking about why athletes need to consider looking at performing from a more creative perspective than just competition, all right? Like I said, creators improve faster because their goals, they control their goals, they measure their own growth, their confidence compounds, and their standards stay consistent. Competitors can easily burn out, right? You can only take so much frustration when you don't have a solution in place. You can easily burn out while the competitors are going to grow because they're always working on themselves, right? The competitors always working on themselves. All right. I'm kind of behind schedule a little bit. Creators thrive after mistakes. Yes, they do. They thrive after mistakes because, like I said previously, they're solution-based athletes. All right. They understand the problem and they address it, right? Competing only athletes, they spiral. Coaches watching, teammates saw that. What will the people think? All right. Creative analyze. All right. What did I learn? What do I adjust? What will I build tomorrow? Again, working on yourself internally. Here's the problem. Here's the solution. All right. Now, the best athletes in the world are creators. Kobe, what did he create? He created the Mamba mentality, right? Tom Brady didn't just win. What did he create? He created a winning what? A winning culture, right? Serena Williams created pressure-resistant routines, right? How to handle pressure, all right? Michael Phelps created things we talk about all the time, my elite athlete community. He invented systems involving visualization, breathing routines, and intentional statements, positive self-talk, right? All these superior athletes created systems which enable them to perform at the highest level consistently and always moving forward because they're always seeking the solutions that help enable them to perform at their highest level, All right. They didn't compete harder. They built systems, right? They built systems and they created those themselves, right? Powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. All right. Let's explain the creative mindset. Here's the formula every athlete needs. Get your pen and pad out, folks. Pen and pad right here. This is great information. The creative mindset equals standards plus intentions plus identity plus habits. All right. Standards, what I demand from myself, right? Intentions, what I choose to give today. Identity, who I decide to be, right? And the habits, what I do every day. That's your creator mindset right there. That's the formula. Standards, intention, identity, habits. All right. So when you operate as a creator, your performance becomes predictable because you control your outcome. You control your performance. It doesn't matter if you go baseball again, 2 for 4 or 0 for 4. All right. You understand that's the performance. It is what it is that day. What adjustments do I make to move forward to prepare next time? All right. You have your own system. A lot of time, a competitive athlete, the only system they have is facing what coach gives them, which is fine, but it's not next level. It's not higher standards. It's not building who you are as an athlete. And I like to say you're not building your athletic resume. You build your athletic resume throughout your athletic career. So when you reach your peak, you know who you are as an athlete. All right. So when you come across adversity, you have the coach as a source combined with what you know who you are as an athlete. All right. All right. So you have that down now. I always give you guys 2 actionable activities. Where are we for time? 13. Okay. We're doing pretty good. 2 actionable activities. I always leave you guys something you can do. Now, what's that I want you to do now? I want you to create, if you're a coach, write this down. If you're an athlete, obviously write this down. If you're a parent, write this down. Activity number 1, I want you to do this right here in real time. You want to create your identity sentence. Create your identity sentence, right? Write this sentence and fill in the blank. I am the athlete who blank every day no matter what. Again, I am the athlete who blanks every day no matter what. So an example could be I stay composed. I attack every rep. I adjust quickly. I control my effort. I lead with energy, whatever it is. Write this down, coaches, parents, athletes. I am the athlete who what? Every day, no matter what. That's your first activity. We do that live. We do that right here. Activity number two, the creator game plan. 3 questions. All right. 3 questions I want you to answer, right? What am I building this month as an athlete? What am I building this month as an athlete? Is it speed? Is it confidence? Is it communication? All right. All right. Now, what daily habits proves I'm creating, not reacting? All right. Again, this is question number 2. What daily habit proves I'm creating, not reacting? My breathing routine, my journaling, my visualization, my recovery, studying film. Again, what daily habits prove I'm creating, not reacting? Question number 3, you need to ask yourself, how will I measure my standards this week? How will I measure my standards this week? Not based on opponents, right? Based on personal execution, based on who you are as an athlete, based on building your athletic resume, all right? Right. This is going to anchor you guys in the creation mindset, right? And get you out of the comparison mindset. All right. Everything starts within. All right. Then it plays out externally. All right. Every play you see, every thought you have starts internally and expresses itself externally. All right. We have to understand that and make that part of our athletic resume. All right. So I'm gonna have to wind this down. We're right. Oh shoot, I went over. All right. So here's the final message. All right. Competition is temporary. Creation is permanent. When you compete, you chase people. When you create, you become someone. All right. If an athlete, parent, or coach, he wants to build your confidence. If you're an athlete, parent, or coach, you want to build your confidence, your leadership, your emotional control, and consistency. This is exactly what you need to do. Join my elite athletes community. We talk about this all day. We address this all day. We have problems. Athletes have problems. We solve those problems as a community, as one. All right. So, excuse me. All right. We teach athletes how to master their mind, their body, their identity, and perform with intention, not fear. All right. So join me join us inside the Elite Athletes Unite community. To do that, just DM me Elite and we'll get you started with that. Like I said, folks, I went over a couple minutes. I apologize. I'm going to shout some people out. Want to get out of here. Lazy Burrows, thanks for stopping by. Hendon Hawkins, thanks for stopping by. Papa Tuhim, thanks for stopping by. Sub-Zero Angel, thanks for stopping by. Jay Wagner, thanks for stopping by. Miguel, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you guys stopping by. We create athletes here at the Elite Athletes Unite community. I am out. You guys have a great Monday. You guys have a great rest of the week. Peace and happy Thanksgiving.